Donna Brazile's forthcoming memoir triggered renewed recriminations at the highest ranks of the Democratic Party this weekend over the topic that just won't die. 2016. The latest bombshell from the book came Saturday in a report that the former interim Democratic National Committee chair seriously considered replacing Hillary Clinton on the ticket with Vice President Joe Biden after Clinton collapsed at a 9/11 memorial service. Brazile also describes the Clinton campaign as badly mismanaged and spiritless, according to a copy of the memoir that the Washington Post acquired early. That came on the heels of an excerpt published by Politico magazine about how Brazile said she discovered the Clinton campaign had essentially rigged the DNC, if not the primary itself, in Clinton's favor long before she became the nominee, apparently confirming the worst suspicions of Bernie Sanders' campaign. The timing couldn't have been worse. It does us no good to hash out all this stuff. At this point, we should be looking to the future. What's done is done, said former DNC chairman and Pennsylvania Gov. Ed Rendell, pointing to the financial arrangement at the center of Brazile's account. There was no crime committed, but it would have been easy to avoid. So, I don't think it was rigged. I think what the DNC did was just awful. But we should stop talking about it, it's past. We can adjudicate it now. Let's focus on the elections Tuesday and on going forward, Rendell added. There can't be any positive that comes from it. The backbiting commenced again after Brazile's excerpt described how Clinton's campaign had secretly formalized its control over the party apparatus during her primary contest with Sanders. That claim was soon muddied by the publication of the fundraising agreements in question. They revealed that many of the provisions Brazile wrote about pertained only to the general election, but the stage was set for another litigation of the bruising primary. Seizing the opportunity to inflame Democratic tensions, leading Republicans have jumped on the dispute. The real story on collusion is in Donna B's new book. Crooked Hillary bought the DNC and then stole the Democratic primary from Crazy Bernie, President Donald Trump tweeted on Friday. Sanders responded, "We won't be distracted from your efforts to give billionaires tax cuts, take health care from millions and deny climate change. Do your job." But a number of his supporters and aides were more upset. Former campaign manager Jeff Weaver, for one, said on MSNBC that the DNC should apologize. Donna's revelations, at least vis-a-vis the DNC and the primary, didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, said Mark Long-Abba, a senior Sanders campaign advisor. "We basically had a party chairwoman resign because of her preference for Clinton during the primary," he said, referring to Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was ousted in July 2016. As Brazile's excerpt circulated, Minnesota Representative Keith Ellison, the DNC deputy chair, who is closely aligned with Sanders, said we can't allow this idea to persist that any candidate has an inside track. Donna Brazile's account cannot simply be dismissed. We must heed the call for our party to enact real reforms that ensure a fair, open, and impartial nominating process in elections to come, he added in a statement. Nina Turner, the former Ohio state senator who now runs Our Revolution, the political group spawned from Sanders' campaign, also chimed in. It was rigged all along, she wrote in a fundraising email to the organization's supporters. While Sanders himself has largely stayed out of the conversation about the primary, other leading members of the party have weighed in. Senator Elizabeth Warren, a prominent progressive who stayed out of the 2016 primary ahead of a possible run of her own in 2020, answered yes when CNN asked her on Friday whether she believed the contest had been rigged for Clinton. Appearing on ABC's This Week on Sunday, Brazile sought to contain her claims of unfair manipulation to the party apparatus, not voting itself. "I found no evidence, none whatsoever, that the primaries were rigged," said Brazile, who managed Al Gore's campaign in 2000. On Saturday, DNC Chairman Tom Perez issued a statement that was part apology, part pledge to do better. The uproar comes at a difficult time for the DNC, which has struggled to raise money and which last week abruptly fired its finance director. "I am more committed than ever before to restoring voters' faith in our democratic process because even the perception of impartiality or an unfair advantage undermines our ability to win. That is unacceptable," he wrote on Medium. alluding to the 2016 process run by then-Chair Wasserman Schultz. Pledging to work with the Unity Reform Commission set up with Clinton and Sanders campaigns last year, Perez also promised to ensure that no candidate participating in our presidential nominating